Hi, welcome back to Relationship Ready Talks. This is Kevin Markman, and this is where we talk about relationships and figure out what we relate to. So today, our guest is Mr. Torrance Jaxn.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. So tell me and tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am originally from Detroit. Grew up in Syracuse, New York. I am a comedian. I've been doing that for about 9 years now. I got another job. I'm a forklift driver, but comedy is where it's at. I love making people laugh. I love doing shows, and that's how we met. So.
That's how we met, and very good at it. So
thank you very much.
Never heard a show where you weren't funny at it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. So today we're going to talk about relationships. So tell me how the relationship started.
Okay, our relationship started. I knew her from middle school, so we already had like a little bit of a history.
Okay.
Time passed. She went to college. I went to college. We ended up linking back up at a concert. I saw her, and I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" Blah blah blah. So we started chit chatting again.
Okay. Well, slow down a little bit. In middle school, what was your relationship in middle school? How did you know her? Did you talk to her? Was she just someone you didn't know or saw from a distance, or she saw you? What was middle school like before you got to there?
All right. So middle school was I noticed her immediately. And then I tried to, be friends with her younger brother just so I could so I could see her. Yeah, okay. I would go over his house and play his Nintendo, but I would really be like, "Where's your sister?" Like,
okay,
how's your sister?
So from the brother to the sister.
Yeah, from the brother to the sister, and we just started talking, and you could just tell we liked each other.
Okay. So you were friends in middle school, and had puppy love, and talked to each other at that time.
Yeah.
Okay, and you were friends with the brother too, or he went to the wayside when you were friends with her?
No, I was still friends with the brother. Okay. Yeah, everything was still cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And then from middle school, you both went your separate ways.
No, we went to high school.
We
actually went to high school, and I ended up being in another relationship, and she ended up being in another relationship. But we still knew each other. Okay. Like I knew the guy she dated. You know what I mean? So it was still friendly.
Okay.
And then like our senior years, we all just went away to college. Okay. And then we eventually met each other after college.
After college. And during high school, you were both dating separate people throughout high school?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so there was the friendship, didn't get to explore like whether there was something more during high school because you were both in relationships, and then went your separate ways after that.
Yeah, exactly.
And you went where? She went where?
I went to Norfolk State down in Virginia. And I believe she ended up going to Morrisville. So that's still somewhere around here upstate.
Yep.
It was like we never saw each other again.
Okay, so you separated for how long was that you didn't see each other?
Wow. Let's see, maybe like 7, 8 years.
7, 8 years.
Yeah,
okay,
after high school.
Since high school.
Yep.
Okay, and then what happened? You started.
Yeah, I saw her at a concert. I was leaving, and the car backed out. It was like a movie. It's like I'm getting in my car. The car next to me backed out, and I look and I see her get in the car, and I'm like, "Hey!" And bam, we didn't stop talking ever since. Okay. Yeah.
So that shared history, you didn't have to build up anything. As soon as you saw each other, you're like, you.
Yep.
All right.
It was perfect.
We have a thing together. Okay. Yeah. Did you start dating immediately, or were you friends?
No, we were friends. Yeah, we were friends, just getting to know each other. What have you been up to? I've been doing this, blah, blah, blah. Then saw her mother, started hanging out at the house, barbecues, hanging out there. It was like, you know what? We need to explore this. You know what I mean? Even though I was going through a little rough situation, like I had just moved from an apartment, so I was waiting for another apartment to open up. So I was staying with my sister. So it was kind of like a little, like women really don't like when you don't have your things, your stuff together.
Your stuff off.
And I let her know that. I'm like, listen, I don't have everything together, so maybe we should wait. And she's like, no, the timing is perfect. Look how we met. Like we need to be together.
So it felt like you meant for both of you to be together, but you were like holding off.
I wanted to.
I gotta get my stuff together.
Right, but she was like, "No, let's do it. Come on, let's do it now. Like this is meant to be. It's perfect. It's in the stars. Like I'm like, all right, okay. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, as a man, I already know I need to have my together. Like my person.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Like I need to have my stuff together. But she was like, all right. So we tried, and
Okay. So at first it was like that. Meant to be for her and you in the beginning, but you need to get your stuff together?
It was, when she said it was meant to be, I was like, damn, she's right. It is meant to be. But she's like, no, right now. Like, we need to do it right now. And I'm like, no, it's meant to be, but just like give me a couple months. Give me a couple of months and like arrange some stuff. And she's like, no, now, right now. I don't want to leave today without knowing that I'm going to be around you, and I was like, all right.
And you already knew family and stuff from middle school and high school, so there was no reconnected family. It was just like, you were already known as credible, known as a decent guy who could move into the family and do that also.
Yeah.
Okay, so the concert was the reconnection, and then from the concert, did you start talking? You started dating? Were you friends for a while?
No, from the concert, we just went right to dating.
Okay.
Just went right into dating. We moved in together, and just was like relationship, bam.
Okay, so you moved from sisters to her instead of getting your own stuff. That's how you got your stuff together.
Right.
Okay.
Big mistake.
Okay. That was a big mistake. Why was that a big mistake? Tell me why that was a big mistake.
You always, as a man, you always want to have an apartment or somewhere to lay your head that you can call your own, just in case you get into an argument with her and she's like, get out. Like,
and your sister's place isn't that place.
No.
You
need your own spot. Yeah, because women have a tendency to say, get out, when they know you don't have anywhere to go. You know what I mean? Yep. That was my mistake, and that was the beginning of the end.
That was the beginning of the end. So before the beginning of the end, it was good till that point, moving in together. Tell me about what was good about that part.
It was just being in a relationship is fun. You know what I mean? Just paying bills together, going grocery shopping, just doing stuff as a couple. You know what I mean?
The day-to-day life stuff, which is beyond that initial, we fall for you, we're meant to be. It's all that passion in the beginning, and then you got the dating stuff, and you're like, this is good. I'm being my man role, you're being man role.
Cooking,
we're doing things together.
Going to museums and walking through the park, that type of holding hands. We went to New York City and did the carriage ride through Central Park with the horse and everything.
You can't get more romantic than that. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yes. And how long did that last in that phase?
Actually, that lasted for a while, almost like 2 years. Okay. Yeah, almost about 2 years.
All right. And so did it become closer and closer throughout those 2 years, or did you reach a point where you're like, this is good, this is where we're at?
No, we got closer. It was getting closer and closer. Okay. Yeah, and then it was like, okay, she started like, well, I'm not dating you just to be dating you. And I'm like, uh-oh. She's thinking about wedding bells. And I'm like, wow, she's really
so she was at a faster pace than you were.
She was in the fast lane. I'm still over here in the slow lane.
Okay.
With my warning lights on.
Okay. She pointed that out.
Yes.
And how'd you react?
I thought I would react like, oh, yeah, this is a person I could be with. But it wasn't like that. It was more like, what? So
when you hit that, your gut went, oh, this is much faster. Maybe this isn't.
Yeah, that kind of like, you could see it. She did a complete 180. Like, she didn't want to hear that. She did not want it. And I was like, I think that was the beginning of the end.
Okay, because she wanted to hear, I'm with you. Yes. Let's wedding bells. Let's start picking up the dress, picking out the date.
Yes.
Forward that when you
picking out the ring. Yes. Yep.
Okay. So how did you negotiate that time period?
It was rough. It was, because on one hand I want to be with her, but on the other hand it's like, I don't know about marriage. You know what I mean? And it was like, I would try to talk to her and she's just like, no, we need to be setting the date. And
so you were clear with what you wanted. She was clear with what she wanted, but it was two different things, so you kept butting heads.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So how did that play out, and how long did that last for?
It didn't. I say it played out for maybe, I was able to milk it for maybe another 6 months, but she was on a fast pace because, I don't know, I never got a chance to ask her why, it was like that, but she's definitely I guess she's real family oriented, like mother, father, let's get married, have kids.
And you knew the family already.
Yeah, I knew the family already.
You had worked through that stage of being able to, do you fit with my family?
Yeah, but
so you already fit with the family. But you didn't fit with the marriage, full lifetime commitment thing yet.
Yeah, right.
So that lasted, or as you said, milked it for a few months. That created some tension and some arguments.
Yeah,
and then what happened?
She just couldn't take it anymore. She was just like, you know what? I'm wasting my time. I think you're wasting my time. I think we're wasting each other's time. And I was just kind of like, you're right. You know what I mean? I wasn't fighting her with it, and she was just like, oh, I'm right. And then she kind of realized where I was. And then she was kind of like, all right, well, I'm not going to wait around. And I was like, all right, I don't want you to wait. So we kind of split mutually. You know what I mean?
Okay, yep. So you both realized, and then she got clear on that's where you were and you weren't where she was.
Right.
And then agreed to be done mutually to be like, no, we're not on the same page.
Yep.
Was there hope for anything later, or was that you were done or done? How did you know when it was done?
I knew it was done because she was just like, You could physically see her check out. And I was like, yeah, she's done.
Okay.
But then she was also like, you know, we'll always be here for each other. You know what I mean? So she left room for maybe in the future.
Right. At least a support and a friend, but maybe a relationship if you were on the same page, but you weren't then. Okay.
Right. Yep.
All right. And so it ended at that point.
Yep.
Okay.
That was it.
All right. And what do you think you learned from that relationship?
I learned that what I knew from the beginning is like you have to have your together if you're going to get into a relationship. You have to. All right. You cannot waste a woman's time. Like when you get in a relationship, you got to have an end game. Like, okay, am I going to marry her or what? That's what I learned. So my next relationship, I already know, like, that would be something I would be reaching for, is marriage. You know what I mean? I wouldn't waste a
because you know that's something you want. Right. You want to get your ducks in a row and get all this shit together to be able to do that.
Financials,
and you knew that at the beginning, but you went with, oh, she wants this, so let's give it a shot.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a big mistake.
All right.
So lesson learned.
Okay. Anything else you learned?
That's about it. Yeah, just have your financial stuff in order when you want to get into a relationship. Right. Especially, I mean, I'm older. You know what I mean? So I don't have time to play around. Maybe if I was in my 20s and 30s, yes, but now, nah. Don't waste.
And that's the mature relationship to not waste your time, not waste her time. Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Relationship Ready Talks.
Appreciate you. Thanks.
Right, come on back next time, and we appreciate you coming. Like, subscribe, and relate. Thank you.